Hi, I'm Lara.
I'm Brock.
And welcome to TEFL Talk. Hi, and welcome back to TEFL Talk. As always, I am here with my co-host and TEFL expert, Brock Brady.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? Going to solve the problems of teaching again today.
Ah, indeed. And today is a great one because we're going to talk about critical thinking. So I know that we are supposed to, as teachers, develop our students' critical thinking skills, but what does that mean?
It's about solving problems.
Okay, so would you say it helps students to learn how to make informed decisions?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And decision making is the essence of critical thinking.
I'm curious to know, as English teachers, are there certain languages that support critical thinking maybe over others?
No, absolutely not. No language is better engaging in critical thinking than another one. What I really do encourage, though, is if teachers have the choice or the possibility, they should work with students in their home language and have them develop critical thinking in their home language first. And then it's easier to just automatically transfer that if they need to learn another language. That doesn't mean that you can't teach critical thinking while you're teaching English or some other language to students, but it's always best if they can begin in their home language.
So it's always worthwhile to start building that base in the first language, and those skills would then just transfer to the other languages.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Let's try kind of a hands-on approach.
Okay.
Can you help me walk through how I might use critical thinking to make an informed decision?
Well, let's try a few questions. What are you thinking about?
So let's imagine I'm in the market for a new pet. How might I approach this with some critical thinking types of questions?
Well, first of all, I think a very important question is there room in your life for a pet right now?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I am 9 months pregnant, you may have noticed. There is not
Nothing gets by me.
there is not room in my life for a needy pet. However, I will have some time to be at home, so I'll have an opportunity and maybe want a companion that is not crying all the time to maybe interact with. So I think that, yeah, my life could accommodate a low maintenance pet.
It sounds like you've narrowed it down, and I dare say you probably have something in mind. Is that right? I bet you're thinking about a cat.
Hedgehog.
A hedgehog? Really?
I mean, a cat didn't even dawn on me.
Well, I guess a hedgehog would be a good pet. I don't know. Do you know something about them?
I know that they don't require walking.
Okay.
And I hear they eat cat food.
Okay, well, that's something positive about them. So, okay, maybe that's a good idea.
Well, it took very few questions to kind of narrow down the list of possibilities, although we may have disagreed on what my outcome was. I do think that this line of questioning probably is transferable in the classroom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So how could you make these kinds of questions, or how do you focus on the importance of this type of questioning with your students?
What you should be trying to help the students to do is to identify problems, figure out what assumptions they're making or not, and follow the steps in the method to come to a reasoned conclusion.
So to kind of get at the nature of the problem, which is what I did,
Yeah.
when I knew that really what I needed was something that wasn't needy. And
Yeah.
so it helped me to eliminate.
Exactly.
Well, Brock, you are always great at giving our viewers actionable tips and activities to take away. So I'm hoping that maybe you have some prepared for us today.
The first one to talk about is a very common technique that's known as KWL.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the teacher asks the students, what do you know about a hedgehog?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to know about a hedgehog? And I like this, what would you want to know about a hedgehog? Because the want there gives the students kind of some agency and some investment in that. It's not just we're going to learn the lesson the teacher gave to us, but they're going to find out some things that are interesting to them. And then at the end of the lesson comes the L, what did you learn? So you do a little debriefing, which is always good for critical thinking. What did you learn? Kind of recreate the process. So that's a very good activity.
So that's great.
And then another very common activity is think, pair, share. So you ask the students at the beginning, individually to think about a question or a problem, and they try to develop an answer. And then you have two students share in a pair, and that gives them an opportunity to kind of try out what they've come up with. They may come up with something that's a contribution of both of them. It's an opportunity for them to speak in a place where they're not being listened to by everybody, so they can build up their confidence a little bit. And then when that's done, you bring the whole class back together and you have people share out, and you can compare different visions and different opinions of what they've come up with.
Great.
So that creates creative thinking.
Yeah, I like that one. It's nice because it includes that report out strategy as well.
A third one is making connections,
Mm-hmm.
and this is very often associated with developing reading comprehension. So whenever a student has been engaged in a reading, afterwards you ask the students, well, how does this connect to your life? Making connections to self. And then the other thing you want to explore is making connections to the world. How does this relate to the real world and the life that we're all living in it? And then the third one, which is a little bit of intertextuality, is making connections between what was read today and what students may have already read before, so they may get used to kind of putting together the pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah, so you're really kind of challenging your students to think with 3 different lenses.
Yes.
And I imagine as you progress, it kind of triggers that critical thinking at a new level and then an even higher level.
Yeah.
Any more for us?
Well, maybe kind of an activity which is fun to do, and it's about determining if something is a fact or an opinion.
Ooh, can we do it?
Sure, let's try out a few. Let me see. Madagascar is an island. Is that a fact or an opinion?
That is a fact. Madagascar is an island.
How do you know that it's a fact?
I could, I suppose, take the boring route. I could look at a map and verify that it is an island. My favorite approach would probably be to take a spaceship to look down and to see that pretty blue water all around Madagascar.
Okay. Let's try another one.
Okay.
The Hungarian language is more beautiful than Korean.
I'm going to have to say opinion on that one.
Okay. Why?
Well, for starters, it's impossible to prove. It's a matter of opinion. Some people might like the way one sounds versus others might like the way the other sounds.
Okay, very good. You're reasoning very well.
Hmm.
Which makes a better pet, cats or dogs?
That's going to be an opinion.
Why do you think so?
Again, because it's hard to prove.
Well, okay. I'll let you have that. I think I could come up with some facts that would say that cats are better than dogs, but I think you're right. It's an opinion.
Spoken like a true cat person.
Meow.
Well, Brock, I think all of those activities are really promising, also really easy to incorporate into classrooms, and I love that some of these are things that I'm already using.
And I just want to say, I think it's very important if you can find ways to build critical thinking using techniques you're already doing in the classroom. I think sometimes people think that critical thinking is very difficult to do, that it has to be a complicated process and you have to be very, very well trained in it. But I think if we take a breath and stand back a little bit, I think we can find there are many ways we can help our students improve their critical thinking.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Brock. Thank you for sharing with us, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye all.
Thanks for watching TEFL Talk. If you want updates on new episodes, be sure to subscribe.
Do you have a great idea for a show topic?
Or maybe you just want to say hey. Either way, we would love to hear from you.
Whether you're joining us from Morocco or Ecuador,
Or Mozambique or Ukraine.
just leave us a comment and let us know. Thank you very much.